Welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell, proudly sponsored by Super Resin. This week's special guest is Garry Bell, a former fighter who's lived the highs and lows of life in and out the ring. Garry opens up about the battles no one sees, the mindset of a fighter and the struggles that come when the gloves are off. From discipline and sacrifice to rebuilding himself after the toughest rounds of life. This is a story of resilience, redemption and real honesty. Thanks for listening and watching this episode.
Hit my head off the wall first in the passage, smashed my head off the wall. Your mind is the only thing we can literally control. Anything that's happened to me in my entire life, I'm glad it happened. All my failures, all my businesses failing, bring it, because I'll come back stronger.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell, and this week's special guest is Garry Bell. Really looking forward to Garry sharing the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. How are we, mate?
How are you doing, mate? Good to meet you finally.
Good to meet you finally. Listen, we've been speaking for over 12 months, backwards and forwards, through social media and stuff, and you know what, it's been a long time coming. Always sending me positive messages, on the daily. You're very inspirational, your videos and stuff like that, and it's like we've known each other for years, but I know you've got a story which is, of pain, sadness, power and the glory. And I'm glad you're coming on to share it. So listen, let's just get right into it, from where you're from, where you grew up, family life and school life was like.
Yeah, so I grew up in a little place called Talry, and it was like known as Cardboard City when we were kids. I've got two brothers, Mike and Danny. They grew up with me as well. Like I said, as you know from knowing me, I've always been involved in martial arts. I've always loved it. Even from being kids, we used to even go as far as nicking in the local sports centre to grab like a session. It didn't matter what it was, whether it was karate, kickboxing, kung fu, wrestling. It didn't matter. We'd sneak in. So we'd actually find a way. Actually, I would get in. So we'd go to the receptionist and would talk to her. And one of us would either sneak under and get in, or if we couldn't do that, we'd tell her that we needed to use the vending machine. So as the other person was doing the vending machine, we'd sneak in and would open the fire exit and would be straight in down to the classes.
Bunk right in, but that would set the alarms and that off and stuff.
Yeah, you used to set the alarms off. Sometimes we figured a way, if you only opened the door a tiny bit, you could actually get in.
Another blag, a nice blag to get in and stuff.
We loved it though, man.
So so your brothers and stuff, you were banging to the like martial arts stuff, like Bruce Lee and stuff like that, and watching it on the telly and stuff. Is that what you were into?
Yeah,
that what got you into it?
Yeah, just watching like things like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Obviously Mike Tyson was a big thing that we used to watch, because we used to watch the fights from my uncle, the Mike Tyson ones. But I would always say I've been more drawn to the martial arts side than the boxing. As much as I love boxing. And yeah, we were just always on the field. We'd be dressing up like ninjas, even though putting our jeans over us and tucking them in. Have you ever seen them like American Ninja? Yeah. So we'd be dressing up like them. Obviously, we didn't have the ninja suit, and we'd be making them. In fact, we used to go as far as making ninja dust. So we'd like Hoover dust. So we'd have the Hoover dust and we'd put it like in a little cling film bag and be like shotting it on the floor so it'd all go, and then one of us would like move away and stuff.
But that's childhood memories that you know what I mean? It was
stuff like flour, even using flour or anything, just trying to come up with this ninja
like
dust.
You see on the films and
like
all that.
On the films,
you're recreating it on the like on the estate and that. But on your estate, you're from Stockton-on-Tees, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. Council estate, like many of us grew up and stuff. Good people on there, good community spirit and stuff like that. Can you remember it?
Yeah, to be fair, like growing up on Tarry, the council estate, like I did like it. You know what I mean? It was good. I've got some good memories from there, and met some good people at the time. Like when I was growing up, obviously my life wasn't good all the time. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it was. Yeah, it was like I say, it was known as Cardboard City because the walls were that thin. But it was one of them estates you could leave your front door open like through the day. Night time you had to lock it.
Yeah. But you know what though, it's like, I think when many people had said, on council estates where they come from and stuff, everyone knew each other. You could go into someone's house, someone's mum make you a butty or give you a bag of crisp or give you a drink of, juice or whatever it was, and you've always got that community spirit. Is that what it was like on that estate?
Yeah, it was just the same there, yeah. It'd be exactly the same. Obviously, if I'm being honest, we never had very much as kids, if I'm honest. Like, we never had much. All those times, actually, as kids, sometimes we never had no electric. Like, where we'd have to open the front door and have the street light in the house. Like, sometimes like that. So we never really... there was one time, even when my dad lived with us, remember the gas meters, where you put the money in?
Yeah.
So we'd, like, he used to cut these tiles, and we'd put them in, and that's what we'd use for the...
Blag it as if like it's
blag it,
as if it was
yeah.
coins or
Yeah,
something.
as if it was coins, yeah. We used to do the same with the telly, with the quarter and or the pound telly and that, or the 50p telly.
But listen, they were the days,
They were
weren't
the
they? You know,
days,
and like you say, back in the 80s and stuff when we were kids and that, I don't think it was just yours. They fucking doing it, let's be honest. I think everywhere up and down the UK was probably because, look, times were tough, you know, back in them days, you know what I mean? I remember being a kid and all that, and exactly the same thing going on, and we didn't have very much, but you know what, there was a lot of good people around that, you know, who would help out and stuff, but they were on, them blags were good though, do you know what I mean? Because it's like you say, but it's tough times where... As a kid growing up, you feel like, oh fucking hell, is this the way of life?
Yeah. So you just reminded me of a thing next. I was thinking when I was a kid, there was only 4 channels. Was it you as well?
Yeah.
So anyway, just thinking of the TV thing there. There used to be this guy who lived down the road. Who was called Trevor. He used to like all car boot sales, do all these mad shit selling stuff. And anyway, he'd had this fucking massive telly, right? So my mum was out this one day, right? So me and my brothers had swapped the telly in our front room. So my mama came home and there was this fucking massive telly in there. It was like a cinema thing, but it was massive. You can imagine how big it was.
And when you're a kid that big, it's like...
She went fucking crazy. We had to go back down and blag it my guys back. I thought he'd have sold it on the car booty or something.
But it's like you say, them memories, which, you know, they're good, funny memories and stuff, but there's certain memories which, you know, you know, weren't very happy and stuff for you, Gary, is that right?
Yeah. So like I say, with my mum and dad, when I was younger, I didn't have like a good relationship, so they'd always be arguing, fighting. My dad would like beat my mum up, she'd be covered in bruises, and the police would be round, the clothes would be shot out the window, like it'd be chaos sometimes, but we sort of like got used to it. Sometimes you'd be upstairs like crying. Like I remember, I've said this before on a podcast, I remember being upstairs and there was one time my dad was hitting my mum downstairs and I remember crying, saying like, Daddy, please stop. Like, and I would never say daddy even as a word, it's not even a word I would use, but I remember saying it.
You must have been a young
young
kid.
Kid to say that.
That to me is like, that's like when you're a young kid growing up, do you know what I mean? It's like...
I'll have been young, I'll have been like 7, 6...
Still a young kid, do you know what I mean, Gary? You know, and that must have been scary, you must have been petrified.
Yeah. So I just remember like there was them times where I'd just fucking pull the cover over my head and I'd just be crying into my pillow. Like there would be them times.
You know, and like you're saying, as you get older or whatever, as you're going to school, you're getting up for school and you're going and you're thinking, fucking hell, is that normal? Or I don't even think you probably can sort of, because you're still a young kid, you know what I mean? Yeah, you don't understand it, do you? You know
obviously,
what I mean?
you know something's happened, but it's a bit mad in your brain, but you're trying to act normal in front of people. Even as a little kid, you're trying to act normal. But then all of a sudden your life becomes normal again, because next thing you know, your mum and dad are talking and...
After what had gone on, all the chaos and all that.
And then all of a sudden it'd be normal, boom, and then it'd all fucking could escalate again, do you know what I mean? But like I say, it went on for a few years like that.
Yeah. Your brothers, Danny and Michael, you know, they the same, they...
So my Danny, he's younger, and my older brother Michael, there's like a year and a half between, either way between us. And... yeah, they remember the stories, like whether they talk about them how I do or mention it how I do. That's for them to...
This is your story, like I say.
Yeah,
but they were part of the, you know, they were part of your, you know, you growing up and as a family.
I did tell them, like when I wrote my book, I did mention that obviously I'm going to be saying some stuff and blah, blah, blah. And obviously they know that I do the podcast, but I don't really mention them that much or anything in it. Like obviously, apart from being my brother, and they were there, but they'll have what they remember of it as well, how they remember it. Do you know what I mean?
They what's the name behind it? So did your dad end up, or did your mum end up getting rid of your dad? Obviously,
my dad ended up leaving her for another woman, and
carrying on, yeah.
And then I remember it was actually quite peaceful when he left, even though we were struggling even a bit more when he left. It was better when he'd left, I thought, like, as being more relaxed. But then it was probably a year had gone, and then she'd met this guy he called Flat Ass, but I remember him pulling up. I'll tell you why he's called Flat Ass, because he's got no ass. So anyway, the car pulled up outside one day out the house, and I was watching A-Team or something on the telly, I remember, in the front room, and he'd rocked up with two of his mates that I remember, and he came in, and I remember him coming in like he was trying to joke about a bit, and I remember him shaking my hand like a bit of a strong grip, but even his jokes were like proper shit. Like you could just tell he was a dickhead. Like from that day, if I'm being honest.
First impressions, he was a dickhead. He couldn't tell jokes, and he had a flatter heart. Look at him.
I'd a lot going for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
So to be fair, he was known as like being a bit of like a handy hard man, say, because he was like worked on the doors and stuff like that. So he was like quite a biggish bloke as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember there used to be like loads of little digs he'd do around the house, the way he'd talk to you, and even because we started staying over hours, and he'd like lived on the corner as well in like a flat, and he used to stay over hours sometimes, but you knew when he was there because you weren't allowed in the front room or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like when he was there. I was starting the big school, and I remember being upstairs, but my mum had got me the school uniform. We used to have them £25 school grants, but we couldn't get all the stuff we wanted. So I didn't have no PE top, so I needed a note for PE. Because I'd been in a few times and the teachers were going crazy. Saying,
getting detention and stuff.
Getting detention and stuff. So I said, oh, my mum's sorting it. So I remember knocking at the room saying, Mum. And anyway, I went in. So when I went in, he'd fucking jumped out of fucking bed, nose clothes on, fucking kicking off. And I went, Mum, I need a note for school. And he was like, well, you fucking get out of the room and all, you cheeky little bastard and all that. So, and I went, I need a PE top, because basically the PE top was like maroon, but it was like a reversible with a stripe. So, and I never had any. So I fucking, when I used to go to school, he used to make me like, well, I used to have to write a note saying that I didn't do it, or they'd make me do it in my uniform, and I was sweating to bits. So
you've got to wear that for the rest of the day, yeah.
So anyway, he was in we used to have like a bathroom, like to the side, just out where my mum's bedroom is there, like a toilet, and the bathroom was separate. And he came out, and he was fucking shouting at me, and obviously I give him some lip back. I was like 11-year-old, so I give him some lip back. I said, who are you talking to? You're not my dad. I used to always say this to him. So he fucking battered me around the head. And I remember going down onto the floor, and I remember him picking me up, and he flung me into the fucking like toilet, and I smashed my head onto the toilet, and I remember like crying, my head was bleeding, and he fucking grabbed the tissue, and he fucking stuck the tissue on my head, and he said, fucking get ready now, I'm taking you to school. And I remember taking him, he took me to school in his car. He got in his car and he took me to school where it was, dropped me on where the side was. But I remember when I was in the car, I remember like my glasses, and I'd done that with my glasses and the arm snapped off, because where he hit me. I used to wear glasses then. And I got out of the car and I was like probably a bit upset, but I remember him driving. I was like, you fucking daft cunt, as you do know when he drove off.
Yeah.
And he like, make sure you're straight home tonight. That's what he'd said when he was in the car. And a few lads come over to me and oh, you're all right. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm sound. And I remember, I thought, I'm not going to school. And I hadn't seen my dad for ages, since he'd like sort of left. And I remember running to like his house. He lived somewhere like the sort of in Norton, not far from the school. And I remember going to my dad's house, knocking at the door, and I was like crying, saying, oh, Mum's boyfriend's battered me. And I remember him kicking off, saying, I'll fucking kill him and all this. And he let me in at this time. I hadn't seen him for ages. And I remember him putting his shoes on, but it felt like he was taking ages to fucking put these shoes on. Like, I don't know if it was what I remember as a kid, like, as it being, but it just felt like it was ages. And all of a sudden he took them off, and he's like saying something like, I'll fucking sort him out and all that. And he was kicking off anyway. Then his wife had fucking
cleaned you up and
cleaned me up my head and that. And this day is crazy, actually, because in his kitchen when I went in, he used to have these like magazines like Combat and Fighters Only and stuff like that. He never done like martial arts, my dad and out like that, but I think he'd done a bit of boxing. And there was a magazine, and it had a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme in it on the front. And I remember seeing that magazine, and when I looked inside of it, I'll actually send you the picture. You might have seen it, in fact. And there's a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he must be about anywhere between like 11 to 12, and he's got these big glasses on. And he looked the fucking spit at me, big glasses, skinny little geeky kid. And then obviously I seen what he looked like. Now he was a man then, obviously he's older than me, isn't he? So that day I was like, fuck, I'm going to fucking...
Was that like a light bulb moment?
It was like a light bulb moment. So like, as much as that day happened, it's like, it sort of changed my life, like that happening. Of that day, but my dad never, even
I was
after
going to
that,
say, did your dad go down on the bouncing film?
No, nothing happened. He was like, oh, you need to go home and don't be cheeky and all that. I just got to that point of the fucking day, and then I had to go home. And then I remember going home, and my older brother was out with his mates because he was older. He was like a teen. And then my younger brother, my mum took like flat ass, my mum, and Danny had went like round his flat. and like for food and that, and I just got left like in the house, like with no tea and that. And that's where like basically it all fucking like started from. Like we lived there for years, and like he used to fucking beat me up for years. And then we end up moving from Tari. We got like to a bit of a better place where it was like half council, half bought type of thing. Like with one of them council scheme things where you can move.
Right to buy and all that stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't a right to buy, like but it was just like that. Just to move. But anyway, me and our Danny had to. My older brother, our Mike, he went to stay with like my uncle, I think, or one of his mates for a few days until we moved. And me and our Danny had to stay over like flat asses flat. So we were like just like on the fucking floor, and like we could hear my mum in the fucking like front room, and like this. Honestly, this would be early on the night, like fucking. Like, don't forget, I'm like 11-year-old or something, like 11-year-old, and it would just be on the fucking floor. There wasn't a mattress on the floor now, just the cover.
Blankets and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
obviously blankets,
Yeah, no, but you know...
could have just been the carpet, like.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
But we would just lie there, but we could just hear them, like, laughing, and the telly on. There was no telly out in hours, just fucking pitch black. And that's the kind of fucking horrible cunt he was. Like, he'd just, like, leave you like that. He wouldn't get you involved in nothing.
Do you know what, Gary? When you're explaining that, it's just like, who does that? Do you know, because, you know, don't get me wrong, I remember like getting if I was out of like, taking the piss and that, I'd get a whack and stuff like that, but to like sort of leave you to one while everyone else is in the living room, and like you just said there, you were around as flat asses flat, having food while you were just left on your own and all that. That must have mentally, and as you got older, when you think back to it now.
That was nothing, no, that was just like the start of it. So anyway, we moved from like Tari to Roseworth in this house, and anyway I came home from school one night, and my brother was arguing, my older brother Mike was arguing with like flat ass at the top of the stairs, and my mum was involved as well in this sort of argument, and basically there was sort of like an ultimatum off him or flat ass saying it's either him or me, and my older brother was like, I'll fucking make the mind up, I'm going, because they were like squaring up to each other. And I was like, oh, Mike, what's up? What's happening? What's going on? And obviously, my older brother, to me, he's like
he's the one you look up to,
he's like the man of the house. Yeah, we didn't have no dad. It was just him. So anyway, fucking, he ended up leaving the house with probably like, I think it was a Corp carrier bag with a fucking couple of clothes, and he walked off. And I never seen him for 5 years.
Your older brother, yeah.
And then it was just me and our Danny there. And I remember that night, and I remember flat ass coming. He was fucking fuming. He fucking locked us, like shot us in our bedrooms, took the fucking light bulbs out, and I remember just like going to sleep. And obviously the next day we went to school, but that's the night I remember. We didn't even have any tea that night.
Jeez, we're starved.
We were just in the fucking bedroom, like
no lights, no.
Yeah,
not...
maybe I wouldn't say starved. We probably had our school dinner, you know what I mean?
But going home to have a family, like a meal for you, that's
we didn't have no. There was no tea that night. We were in our room, and fucking. He ended up going to live. It's mad because my brother ended up staying with my uncle a bit, but he ended up living with my dad.
Yeah.
My older brother ended up living with my dad for like them years. But anyway, as we were living in Roseworth, like same again. He beat me for years, but I got close to his nephews, and we moved from a different house in Roseworth to another one. But even in our other house, he'd lock me and our Danny in the room. But even in the summer, like 6 weeks, like now, like when the kids are out,
out playing and that.
Yeah, we'd be watching the fucking kids playing outside. And that's one of the things my youngest brother remembers one of the most, is that me and him in the bedroom watching all the kids playing outside, not allowed out.
And as a kid, that's what you feel. I mean, just looking out that's heartbreaking to hear that. Do you know what I mean? Because you want to be learning, going out and playing and learning life and that, enjoying yourself and doing all that. Yeah. And use what you're experiencing. It's horrific, you know what I mean? But when you're saying as well, Gary, about like he used to beat you up and all that, did it get to a point where you just didn't cry? No, because I think
so. There was a time when we moved in the other house, and I came home from school one night. And he asked me to go and get some garlic bread from the co-op. So I'd ran to the fucking co-op with his nephews, and I came back. There was a bit of a queue in the shop, to be honest, so it did slow things down a bit. So when I got back, he was like, "Where the fuck you been?" I was like, "I've been to the shop fast as I can, I ran." And his nephews were like, "Oh yeah, he's ran." And then he came back as fast as he can. And then I went to walk out, like as if I was going to play out with them, because they came after the school with me. So I went to walk out, and he went, where the fuck are you going? I was like, I'm going out. You said, because he said, get out of my sight. I said, you said, get out of my sight. So I went, I'm going out. And he went, oh, you're not going fucking nowhere. Anyway, he started kicking off in the passage, and he told them to go. And then, but I think he hit my head off the wall first in the passage, smashed my head off the wall. And they'd said, oh, leave him alone, leave him alone. Like, I won't say, he won't go flat ass, leave him alone. And he said, fucking get out. So anyway, there went. As he went, he fucking grabbed me by the throat, flung me on the stairs, dragged me from the fucking bottom step right to the top, past my mum who was coming out of the toilet, upstairs into the bedroom. And we used to have these bunk beds, me and our Danny in the room. And they were remember like wooden bunk beds, like pine ones. Them, and I remember as in the bedroom, and he dragged me up, and I was arguing, he was got up like, I'm like, you fucking daft cunt. Like I was saying to him in his face, and like he fucking punched us in the stomach.
It took the wind out.
Yeah, dropped me on the floor. But even then, I was like, got back up again. I said it again. I said, you thingy. And then I remember him when I got back up. I don't know how I got back up. I got back up, and he fucking grabbed me by like my chest here, and he fucking grabbed me and he flung me
into the wooden bunk beds.
Yeah, by my back. No, the back like that. So my fucking
steps on the.
Yeah, so. No, not the steps, the actually wooden.
Oh yeah.
So I fucking folded like a deck chair, like as I went back, and I was on the floor, and I was like, no, that even feel now, and I'm like, oh, you can't breathe now. I thought I was gonna fucking die, and he came on, and he went, you will fucking listen like this now, and I just fucking remember being on the floor, getting my breath for fucking ages, and yeah, it was just honestly, it was just like mad stuff like that.
But you know, when you explain it like that, that's horrific. That's something that you'd see on a horror film or something, or like you wouldn't think a kid would experience that. Do you know what I mean? But for you, it was like the norm growing up, because obviously that's what he was putting you through and stuff like that.
Well, I used to have to go to school, and I wouldn't dare take my top off in the changing rooms because I'd have fucking bruises all over my chest. But no one knew at school, so I wouldn't tell them. So he'd bruise your body. But then somehow I had my glasses would always have fucking sellotape on them. They were like fucking Jack Duckworths.
do you know, I'm laughing because obviously that, but you know what? But you know what? When you think of it like that, going to school, you're all marked up, you're bruised up, and you're probably petrified, scared, and you can't take your top off in PE because the people will notice or the teachers will notice, and obviously you've got your sellotape on your glasses and that, and you're probably going to be, I don't know, what kids can be cruel and make fun and stuff like that, where you've got sellotape around the glasses and stuff like that, and it must have been so hard for you.
It was horrible because and at that time as well, I never used to go to the opticians as much as then. Like my eyes are pretty bad now actually. The vision wise obviously the corrective vision's good, but I reckon they got worse over the years because of not having them regular appointments. Not if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's another story like flat ass that I remember, and fucking we used to have this front room when we moved to the other house, and he used to have this massive fucking fish tank, massive. It must have been about 9 foot long or something like that, even bigger. You could probably swam in it. And he used to have a lock on the door. She used to have a lock plus key locks on the front room door, so you weren't allowed in. And when you went in the front room, you used to have a massive fucking rug, not as if you're off a ladder and a flying carpet, like that on the floor. So if you ever did go in the front room, if the door was open for some, you'd be like that fucking on your tiptoes walking around it, because if your fucking footprint went on that, it'd fucking kill you. Yeah, you'd have been fucked up off that.
That's mad. So you wasn't allowed in the front room?
No, you weren't allowed no, only when he was in there. If he let you in there. He had a lock on the door. Literally a lock on the front room door.
That's unbelievable. I just don't understand what goes through people's minds, you know what I mean? It's just for you must have been petrified, every stepping on eggshells and everything, you've done. You're being watched.
Yeah, it's mad. Because I met my older brother again. This rug thing reminds me, because I remember my mum and him being in the front room and my brother. And one day I was in Norton. I think I was about 15 coming sort of 16. I remember seeing my older brother. I hadn't seen him for years. He was working at Middlesbrough Football Stadium, and he was in Norton. And I see him. I was like, Mike, and we realised it was each other, and we started talking again. I went home and I said to my mum, I met our mate today. I was buzzing.
You were buzzing, yeah.
I was buzzing. I was like, I met our mate today. I'm going to go and see him. I'm going to go around my dad's and that. Obviously, as a kid, you think.
You're excited,
yeah. Excited, yeah. So even then, I probably thought my dad, I've seen our mate. My dad will want to see me now. There's something like in my own head of being like a bit delusional. And I remember him saying, and her saying, "You're fucking not going down there. You're not going to see him." And I was like, I'm not. That thing I used to always say to him where I said, "You're not my dad." I said, "I'm not being funny, but you're not my dad," or something like that. Or you can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad. That's what I used to always say to him. And I remember him. I remember him getting up off the fucking settee, and I remember him coming in the kitchen, and I'd fucking like walked out to the thing in the kitchen. But I was at that age now as well, like where like he'd hit me, but I wouldn't cry. Like it didn't matter what he done to me. Like I wouldn't cry. And I remember him hitting me in the kitchen, and he'd had me under the fucking cabinets, like choking me. And my brother had come in, our Danny, and he'd fucking. As our Danny had come in, he's like, get off him, he's crying. And he'd fucking hit him like that. And I'd just fucking seen red. And all I remember after this is everything's fucking having him by the fucking throat. That's all I remember. And then I remember just fucking leaving. And after that, go and live with my nana. And it wasn't long after that they'd actually split up. If I'm honest, I was about 16 at that time.
Yeah, you just had enough, Garry.
I left, but him and my mum split up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for you, you'd had enough where you did your little brother.
Yeah, like
that was it.
Yeah, like obviously, yeah. It's like I just seen red at that time, like because like it got to the point where it didn't hurt anymore, even when he was physically hitting me. Like
because you'd endured so much, is that you think?
Yeah, the pain didn't hurt, but the mental pain did. If you get what I mean,
yeah,
it's hard, isn't it? Because like the mental pain is hard to deal with than physical. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's just a massive difference in the turns, and I know that mental pain's worse.
Yeah, of course it is, and that must have been so hard for you. You know what you've explained to us so far. It's you know, it's traumatic in the physical abuse as well. Do you know what I mean? But do you think finding, you know, combat sports, K1 and stuff like that, kickboxing, do you think that?
Yeah,
that helped.
It's that martial arts has changed my life. Like I say, even through all the times of being a kid and going through all the crap with like flat ass and my dad and stuff like that. Like I've always still like loved the martial arts and always like being able to watch it or even training myself or even doing like the odd ones in the sports halls or the community centres like where you live at. Like I just loved it. And when I got a bit older, like I met a guy called Ian. He's actually died now. And I was really, really close to him, and I learned like a lot from him at the time. But I just like I say, I just fucking loved it. Like even now, I just love martial arts. Like it is the
considering what you've been through, you know, to take that on, and then because you know you've had a couple of gyms, haven't you? You know, you're training. You've had, you know, you're training, you know, from young kids up to adults and stuff like that, and what you've been through, you know. You learning and teaching other kids and adults, what did you get from that? You know what I mean? Is that a big thing for you?
Oh yeah, you can't put a price on it. It's something that money can never buy. Like that. Like even like not even just like winning titles or anything. Like just the change you see in people. Like just from doing martial arts.
And you've won a good few titles. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I've done all right in the sport. Yeah, like I say, like and some of the guys who have trained who have even done more than me, do you know what I mean? Like
the difference when you're fighting and you win titles, but as a coach, that feeling. It's like when I go and watch my team and we get 3 points and buzzing, do you know what I mean? But it's like when if you're training someone and you've seen them progress from an early age and you take to see them what you work on in the gym and then you go and do it.
It's amazing, mate. Like it's the best feeling in the world. Like it's good. Like it's because certain people who you train, you always have like a bond with them. Like is there like a coach-fighter bond or a coach-student bond? It's not written, nothing's written, and it's different it's not even the same to say you're my student and he was. It's different with each student. Because
everyone's got their own different technique or whatever. They've got that sort of...
And that's what's good, but the main thing that you see, it helps them. Like honestly, like there's so many kids who have come to me who have even listened to like podcasts I've done, and they've come and it's like help them. Like they've said, I can't believe like you've been through that, and it's like help me. And there's actually a kid in my gym who's been through some fucking bad stuff, even you wouldn't even think would happen to this day. And like he came to me one day, but like after him coming to me that day, like now it's like he knows he can come and talk to me. He knows I won't mention this to other people. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what? This is what I'm saying, what you've just said there, Gary. You coming on and sharing your story is where people out there just come across it because you know what you stand for and what you're about, and like someone who likes K1 or kickboxing or combat sports, and that young lad or whoever it was in your gym's come to you, you know, been through whatever he's been through, what you're explaining, and then he's got this connection with you because you know you've been in similar situation where you've been through it yourself, but you're there. He can trust you, you know, but also he's learning how to, you know, defend himself. He's learning to look after himself, but also maybe take it to that next level. You know what I mean?
That's why it's all worth it when you're saying like stuff like even sharing your story. Like I always say, if you share your story and it only connects with one person and helps change them, you've done the job. Same with you, your podcasts, all the people you're reaching. Even if it hits one every episode, like you're saving more than other people.
This is it, and like when we get a message of someone who watched the podcast, the feeling you get from that, thinking, wow, that guest, you know, I just interviewed the guest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone's got a story, and this is why we started the podcast. It's because people reach out, and everyone uses social media, everyone uses, you know, different platforms, but when you come across it and you get them messages, fuck me, mate, I feel $1 million, you know what I mean? And I message the guest and go, wow, you wouldn't believe this, send them it, and that makes them feel awesome, 10 feet tall, you know what I mean? Now then, everyone, sorry for interrupting this episode. Here's a message from our sponsor, Super Resin. They are specialists in resin driveways and flooring across North Wales and the North West. Whether it's a driveway, worktop or flooring, they've got you covered. For 10% off, use the code TGTBTU. Now let's get back to the episode. But, you know, featuring in the Ring Sports Fight magazine, what was that?
Yeah, so I was featured in another one actually before that. It was the Fighter magazine, but the Ring Sports one, that's actually my friend's magazine. It's called Del Man, and yeah, so no, it was good, and he asked me to go in it, and it was. Yeah,
and your story was in there as well.
Yeah, my story was in there. Yeah, he wanted to do like a piece on me from the martial arts and share it, but yeah, he's a good guy. Does a lot for the sport, and I hope it really takes off for him because he deserves it.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of people reaching out to you after reading the story?
Yeah, because we got some magazines and we give them to the guys in the gym. Everyone was wanting like a copy and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. You know, promoting fight shows, because you've done a couple of shows and that. But it's tough, isn't it?
It's hard.
It's so everyone thinks it's easy to do.
I promoted like nearly over like 50 events.
Have you?
Yeah, like with fight shows, like some of them called promotions, but I've promoted a lot. I used to do them all the time. I used to concentrate on that more than my gym.
The logistics of it, I don't think people understand the logistics of it. Yeah. You know, people say to me, you know, like we might do an event or whatever, and you go, Tony, I can't even organise a table of 10. How do you organise it for 400 people? And I go, fucking don't ask me, you know what I mean? Or whatever, because people just think, you know, you put a guest on and this, that and the other.
There's no funding, is there? Like everything you're relying on from ticket sales
to bring
the money back in. So
unless you get a couple of decent sponsors on board.
Yeah, they're not. If you have pro fights on that, they won't really cover that kind of cost of what the event's going to be.
Depending on the fighting and what wages they want and stuff.
My problem as well when I used to do the promoting is that I used to want to go. I used to want to go to the, like, not to the top, but like I used to want to try and make it look like the big shows. So like have all the canvas, have all the rope covers, all the lights,
the smoke machines.
Yeah, even the way the MC with all his card had to be all printed on the back so you'd see it. Make everyone have all the t-shirts on, like just make it like run professional as you can.
But making people feel
like a star.
A star, you know what I mean?
Fighters feel like a star. I used to love it.
And you about 50 shows, was it? Like
somewhere along them lines we will have done, yeah, with co-promotions. Yeah, I promoted a lot.
Yeah. Funny story, Gary, when you went to Romania.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So when I went to Romania, I was working with at the time it was like Super Combat. It was one of the biggest promotions at the time. It was working with Eurosport when that was huge.
Eurosport, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I was talking to this guy online, just how we did actually, but it was just like on the messenger thing, and I sort of like he was sound, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, when you come to Romania, we'll see." But I never heard anything from him for ages. So anyway, I went to Romania to this event to promote me working with them, and I turned up at my hotel, and this fucking guy rocks up and he's like, "Hello, Mr. Garry," and I'm like, I was looking at it and I was thinking, who the fuck is this? And I was like, and then I recognised it was him, and I was like, oh, now mate, how are you doing? And I was like, how the fuck do you know where I am? That's what I was thinking. I was like, how does he know where I am?
How did he know you were there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he went, no, do you want to go for a coffee? I've come to see you on a coffee. And I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, just fucking get out of this hotel, I was thinking.
This is in Romania?
In Romania, yeah. I didn't have my phone, nothing. Didn't even tell my wife where I was going. Didn't tell the promoter where I was going. I don't even know how this happened to me because I'm not even gullible. Right. So anyway, I ended up going round this corner, and then he was like, started talking to me, saying, oh, well, I've got these fighters, you can come and see. Next thing I know, I'm in a fucking taxi in Romania, and I'm like, where the fuck's he taking me? So I'm trying to play cool. And I go down all these like mad streets and that, and I'm like,
where am I
weird.
going?
Yeah, I was thinking, this is weird, this, like. That's what I was thinking, this is weird. So I'm talking to him normal, as if I'm not bothered. And anyway, he rocks up, and the car stops in the middle of this estate. So it was just like, imagine like a massive building. It was just there, and all the rest of it's rubble. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, we're here now. And I'm like, they're going to fucking kill me. I'm thinking, they're going to fucking kill me. Right. So I go out the car, and we're walking up to this gym. And then as we started walking up into the gym, I walked in, and there was all these fucking massive men. They were huge. You know, like, looked like Thor and Eddie Hall, like huge monster men. And I was like, fucking hell. He went, oh, it's upstairs. And anyway, when I walked past, everyone was like sounding out when you walk past. And I went upstairs, and he went, oh, I've got some fighters they want to fight on your promotion and work with you. And I was like, oh, yeah, sound. So I thought, right, it's sound this. These guys are actually here. Anyway, when I was there, some of them didn't even have the correct equipment. Like, they had like an MMA glove on and a boxing glove or bag gloves. Some of them had shin pads on, some not. And then they're all sparring in the room. There's fucking blood everywhere. Right, they're fucking killing each other in this room, mate. I swear, they're punching each other's heads in, and then
kneeing each other in the face.
Yes, kneeing each other, kicking each other, like nearly killing each other. And then I thought it was going to be sparring, but their sparring was hard, man. And afterwards, he was like, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, they're good. I'll be in touch definitely." And I was thinking, "Fucking get me out of here." I was thinking, "Get me out of this place."
Get back to the hotel.
So anyway, I'd left that situation. I was like, "Fucking how did they end up with this?" I remember going back room where I was like, you won't even believe where I've just even been. I said, you couldn't even write it. What just happened to me there? So anyway, when I told her, she was just like laughing. She was like, why did you even do that? You could have got killed or anything over there.
Oh, mate, in them countries, you go...
Well, you don't even... I didn't know anyone. To be fair, like, if I'm being honest, like, parts of Romania were mint, man.
Yeah,
really nice, really nice.
But when you're going like in Dodge or whatever, it's like...
With a dodgy character you don't know, yeah, you could... Someone could be like that here, coming to England, you know what I mean?
Of course they can, yeah.
So yeah, it was mad to be in that situation, but...
You know as well, Gary, I know you've had some very, skirmishes where you've been very close, but someone, like, the gun incident was the...
that was when I was younger. That was when we lived in Roseworth, actually. Yeah, I was walking home one night. I must have only been about 13, 14, sort of coming 13, 14. And I remember I was walking home, and I remember seeing this guy, and he's like, oh, come here. And I'd seen he had something in his hand, and I was like, do I fucking run here? And I thought, I'm not fucking running. Look like a pussy or something, so I'm fucking not running. So anyway, I went, he had this fucking gun, fucking pointed this gun off me. I can't remember what he really said to me, but all as I remember is, do you ever watch Steven Seagal movies?
Yeah.
So all as I remember is seeing these movies in my head, and I remember it didn't look nothing like this, by the way. I fucking remember like knocking this gun out of his hand, and it was on the floor. I remember the gun being on the floor, like it fell on the floor, and I just remember fucking kicking it.
Was it a replica or was
it? Yeah,
it
it was a replica gun. I remember kicking this fucking gun and just fucking ran, and I shit myself. I went home, and my mum and that had phoned the police. Anyway, when the police had come and they'd found the guy who it was only a replica gun. And like, so then that even happened with the situation.
But you know
what? I didn't know where the fucking gun.
Imagine that though, if you're 14 or whatever.
I did shit myself when he done it. I was like, fuck, but I didn't. I was like, because even when I'd seen him coming at me, like, look, the pulse something like at me when he was coming, I didn't know. I was thinking, oh, do I run now this way? And I thought, that's away from home. I thought, if I run that way,
yeah.
And he's going to chase me with this gun. I thought in my head.
The first thing in your head's doing a Steven Seagal move, get the gun, taking the gun off.
It definitely wasn't a Steven Seagal move, like. It was just, I don't know what it was.
Do you know another thing I was going to speak to you about was, it's another mad story, because obviously we've spoken and stuff like that, and it was when you were in Turkey with your family. Listen, mate, I can't believe this story, but you know, you and your family in Turkey, and your kids were only, they were only babies, weren't
Yeah,
they?
this story actually, the Gazette actually wanted to do a story on this. There's actually some footage somewhere. I'll try and get it because there's some footage of this somewhere of what happened. So anyway, we were in Turkey, we were in Marmaris, but before we went, I think it was 2 weeks before we got there, we got a call. My wife got a call saying, you can't stay in that hotel, there's maintenance going on. So we're like, okay, fine, but they put us in the hotel next door. They were like, oh, it's better, blah, blah, blah. So we rocked up, and anyway, the hotel was mint, if I'm honest. And we got there, but the dolphin place was down the road from where this was, and we wanted to go and swim with the dolphins. That was one of the main reasons, actually, we booked that hotel, because we had the dolphin place right there, yeah. So we went to the dolphin place, and there was guys like sat on chairs with like sunglasses and like guns, and we were like, fucking security's mad here in this hotel, I thought. And anyway, we found out you can't go down there. You can't even go down there. And we found out that it was the president of Turkey staying there, President Erdogan, I think he was called.
At the time,
At the time, yeah. He was staying there with his family. So anyway, a few days later, what happened, me and my family and my brother was there, our Danny, with these kids, and they were staying near like where the elevator was upstairs, and we were like a bit further down. And I remember this night, it was when the coup happened in Turkey, and I remember all on the telly being like with the army and stuff like that, and they were talking all this stuff. And anyway, it come to the point where the channels wouldn't even go on anymore. The TV went off, and I was like, this is weird. TV's gone off. And next thing you know, you heard like circling of helicopters, and it was late. My kids were asleep at this time, and then you heard this helicopter like outside the hotel window. I was like, if you open the doors, I looked and I could see about, and my eyes are quite bad as well when I view from a long distance, but I could actually see the people inside the hotel, like these two people. And then all of a sudden, you want the helicopter dipped like this, this black helicopter dipped. Fucking big lead, like the lasers came out of it, like the boom, boom, they were blowing the hotel up next door, like the hose, like our hotel was
shooting
here.
the hotel out.
Shooting the hotel out, yeah, on the corner, like where it was. And we were like, fucking hell, what's going on here? So we like shut the fucking curtains. Like
all, it was all people scarpering and all that.
There was, after a bit, then you seen all people on the floor, like coming. There was people in wheelchairs screaming on the floor, you could hear. And I was like, I thought it was a terrorist attack. I was like, there must be a terrorist. So I didn't dare go out of the room. I didn't want to ring reception in case someone was there, and I thought, right, I'll come up, we'll kill him.
You know, someone's there, yeah.
Yeah, so in my head, I'm like, right, if someone comes in, I'm going to have to kill him, so what can I use to kill them? Because in your head, you're like, it's my family, I'm going to have to protect my wife and
They're going to
kids.
attack your wife and the kids.
My kids
and
were
stuff.
too small. They would have cried even getting them, if you tried to get out of the hotel. Yeah, but it was crazy. Anyway, when we actually got up the next day, there was like a Dutch couple, it might be 19, him and his girlfriend, they kicked his door in actually, and because he said he'd pissed himself under the bed. He thought they were going to kill him. They were lifting the bed up and that, looking for their like soldiers and things, because we actually seen soldiers on the floor. And when I went round after, when I went round, because when we got up on the morning, there was fucking police and everything there. We didn't have no sleep and that, but there was police, there was the army people there and that, and loads of people went home. But I thought we'll stay, because I thought it's probably like number one, boarded off now to be like totally secure here.
Yeah.
And when I went to the whole thingy, there was blood on the floor and that, because I was saying to people must have died here, and they were like, oh no. And I'd brought bullets home actually in my suitcase. I don't know how I got them home.
Yeah.
Like, but my wife actually binned these bullets. They were like about the size like your finger, like that. Like what came
and who
out.
were they trying to? Who were they looking for?
No, the president. They were coming to assassinate him.
They were coming to
yeah, this is not this. Even what I'm saying now, this is all.
It's all documented and all.
Well, you can go online, you'll see this.
Yeah.
That happened, but they don't share the story as much as what it sort of was.
You were there, you expect.
Yeah, we seen it, and other people have seen it more than me, surely, because they were more down where they were. Like you say, there was a Scottish couple, and I think one of them jumped off the balcony trying to get out with the family, no shouting the kids down and that. Wow, like when we were there, it's crazy.
Scary, that must have been
crazy. And I remember, because I did actually put the video up on Facebook of the guy's video of what it was, and you could hear boom, 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 you could hear all the bullets and the helicopters and everything, yeah. And I did put, and then the Gazette messaged me when I was away and saying, oh, do you want to do it? Can we use this? Can we do a story on you and stuff? And at the time I was like, oh, I was away and I was like, I don't want to. I didn't want to do it.
That must have been petrifying,
Yeah.
that, mate, for all of you, you know what I mean? And
Do you know the crazy thing is, right? Like, because I still like Turkey. Turkey as a country's nice.
fucking hell, I wouldn't be going back there.
I've
You know
been
what I
back a
mean?
few. To be fair, I didn't. Marmaris wasn't my favourite place anywhere. But I've been back to Turkey a few times. I like Bodrum and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do
Didn't
like
put you
Turkey.
off,
No,
you know
it
what I
didn't put
mean?
me off. And I think the Turkish people are good people. But just that time was crazy. What was crazy, if I'm being honest, is even the staff in the hotel, no one really talked about it. They were like trying to like brush it off as if nothing happened. But you can see why, because they didn't want the tourists to be scared, did they? And there was probably people shipping in.
And it's just the government and the art. It was just, you know, because there was a big falling out and stuff, wasn't it?
So, but yeah, like I said, none of the stuff I'm saying is it's like it is documented. Like people, there's actually press releases on what I'm saying.
And obviously you were there. You witnessed
we
it.
were there. Yeah, we were there. It was crazy. So, because I remember because we did ring my brother's phone on the thing, and we were like, fuck, because they were going to come down our room, but then you didn't know if anyone was in guns, elevators.
You just didn't know what was happening.
You didn't know at the time. No.
The unknown must have been scary for you.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Hiya everyone, sorry to interrupt this episode, but here's a quick one from me. If you're enjoying the podcast and you enjoy what we're doing, you can now buy us a coffee. It's a simple way to keep those stories coming. No subscription, just that one-off bit of support. The link's in the description. Now back to the episode. Starting your business and mindset, having control. How did starting your business and stuff like that?
I've always worked for myself really. So when I was a bit younger, I'd started car valeting. Like, so there's a story actually, I'll tell you this now. So I went looking for a job, so I had to walk looking for a job. Because I didn't have no money with buses, taxi now. So I walked down these estates, car garages. Anyway, I finally got a job, washing the cars on the forecourt.
Valeting that, yeah.
Just washing them on the forecourt. And anyway, there was some days there weren't enough money. It was like 29 quid a day you get for something like that, but we weren't working every day. So I'd said to the boss, look, can I start valeting the cars? Because I could have a bit more work then. And he went, you don't drive? And I went, I'll push the cars. So he went, you push the car. No, I was about 17 this time, by the way, 17, 18. So anyway, he gave me this job, and I used to push the cars out the forecourt into the valet bay, wash it from there into the place, and then push it out the window. Yeah, they used to call me Gary Big Arms as a joke at work. So I'd push it like round to the thing, but it didn't last that long because there was other guys there, and they were faster. It didn't matter how much you push me, you're not as fast as driving. Do you know what I mean? Like it's never going to work. So anyway, I came out of work. And I was looking for a job, went to the job centre out, and there was this one day I was around my nana's house, so I was really close to my nana, and my uncle came around one day, and I told him, I was like, no work, and he gave us 20 quid, I remember giving us 20 quid, and we were just talking about what I could do, and I remember thinking, when we were talking, I bought some PVC solvent clean, so I walked from my nana's all the way to the builders merchants for this PVC cream, and the PVC, like it was like a solvent thing. And I bought that, came back to my nana's, I grabbed the buckets from under the seat, grabbed some ladders, stuck them over my shoulders, and I walked off to some housing estates. I was just knocking canvas on the door saying, I've got a PVC restoration cleaning service, I'm going to restore them and bring them back up to new and blah, 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 that crap. And I was knocking the doors for weeks, days, and anyway, I got some work and it lasted a few months. And I started making some money from that. And then I actually went back into doing valeting, set a little valet business up, and then I was still training martial arts at this time and fighting and competing. And then I eventually set my own gym up. Yeah. I got I think it was a £500 grant off the Prince's Trust. And I had £500 saved up myself. And I opened this little unit, this little shop, where it was. And it didn't actually have the correct business use, so I was open for 8 months. I didn't even have not even much members. I was struggling. And anyway, the council closed it down. Maybe if I was a bit older now, like now times of now, I might be being able to fight against it. And
having that business mindset when you're young and like it's,
I lost the business anyway. I lost that business, so it was gone. The gym was gone. Didn't have now because I didn't really have anything. Yeah. And I had this like job on the side that I was doing, saved some money up, and I remember I was working with my brother as well. Me and him were doing like the building thing and the plumbing and stuff like that. And he was going through a divorce at the time, and things weren't going well business-wise. And I said to him, look, mate, you can just have the van, have the tools, have everything. I'm going to go and set a gym up. He went, you haven't got no money. I said, I've got 550 quid here. So I fucking went to get this unit, and I'd said to the landlord, I'd rang him, and I went down, met him, and I went, look, there's the first month's rent. and I didn't have any money for the
equipment and stuff.
I didn't have nothing. It was just a concrete floor. So I gave him the money, and I rang my wife. It was near Christmas. Well, my son had just been born, and I said, "Oh, I've just put the money down on a unit, and I'm going to open a gym." She went, "We haven't got no money. We haven't got no equipment or anything. What are you going to do?" And I said, "I'll make it work." And it was coming up, like I said, it was coming up near Christmas, and January is not even a good time for the gyms like mine. It's not like a weights gym. It's a very different industry. So anyway, I end up getting some like
bags and stuff.
No, not bags, just pads, like some rustic old pads people would give me, just what I could use. And I end up getting like 1, 2 members, 3 members in the gym, and it just started building up and ticking over from there. And then eventually I end up moving from that premises to the one that I had. And I actually built a really good business. It was thriving. I was there in that unit for like 10, 11 years in the other one that I got. This has been going since 2006, by the way, the gym. So 10 years in that one. Then that business actually flooded. I came in one day, I was fighting in the World Championships, and I walked down the stairs, and the fucking gym was flooded. So basically, it ruined.
It was destroyed.
Everything. Everything was fucked. The full business was. This was only September last year. Everything was ruined, and it was off Northumberland Water. That's who it was flooded from. It was a mains pipe that had burst, and it came right under and basically ruined everything. Everything I'd saved. 9 days later, I was on the phone to suppliers getting all these bags made in Thailand and stuff like that. And I got a text message saying, "Oh, you need to come down. There's a second flood. Second flood wiped everything out, all the electrical equipment." So I didn't have anything. And then eventually it was like the business was gone. We had members cancelling. Business was just going down. I had staff. So anyway, I eventually it was out of business 6 months. I took the plunge to like get a new premises.
What does that mentally do to you, Garry?
Oh, it's fucking, it's hard. Everything you've worked for your whole life, and like, I haven't come from like the best, and I haven't been given anything. Everything I've had I've worked for. So for when something you've worked your whole life for to build the industry what you want, because don't forget, mate, like in my industry, like not many people can make a living from the combat sports world, right? And you people used to say to me all the time, even when I was younger, "Garry, go and get a proper job. Garry, you can't make money off a kickboxing gym. Garry, it's never going to work. Just get a proper job, will you? You're wasting your life, you're wasting your time." But because I believed in my dream that much, and I built it, and I did make it work. But then obviously to lose it in that way was hard. But the only way for me to come back was to make it even better.
Yeah.
So like I decided that like, if I'm going to do it, I did have thoughts where I didn't want to do it anymore. I did say to my wife, "I don't know if I want to do this anymore."
Your wife fully supportive?
Oh yeah. I think I might want to do something else. And then she was like, "You'll never," because I probably would never leave the gym as much, because I've got other businesses as well. Yeah. But I would never stop the gym. I love it too much. Like I train every day.
It's ingrained in you,
it's ingrained in me. It's like the people who use it within the community. It's just. The gym is everything I am. The gym is me. Like the gym is me.
You're the forefront of it all.
I love it. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard. So it was hard to rebuild. Even now, I'm not fully recovered properly business-wise. But the business is better. The good thing when things fall to shit, right?
Something could possibly come good of it.
Well, it always does. Yeah, I think you always have to be at the bottom before you can come up.
Yeah.
And people don't push. You know, some people do in business as well. So people get to a certain level in business and don't push no more. Me, I don't have no safety net at all. So like, do you know, even when I'm at a certain level, even now, I always constantly want to grow. Don't
stay at that level.
Don't stay at that level. Yeah, I used to when I was younger, and when I was doing the car valeting and the building, whatever. I used to always think about, I need to earn some money, like how you would being a worker, like I need to earn some money. So you'd have your money, your 150 quid a week or 200 quid a week, whatever you earned. And that's what you'd work for that every week. But that doesn't work for me. Like you need growth. Like that money will only last so much, and it'll only go so far. And you live your life week to week like that. That's for me, that circle like that is not what my brain wants or can do. It's not, like I say, it's not about the money, but it's about the growth. But with growth comes money. So because I always have that mindset that I want to achieve more, I want to be more, and I want more. Like honestly, the people who work for me, like some of them think I'm crazy because I'm always changing things. In my business, even when I start something with inside the business, their work, just use the gym. Like I'm always trying to make things better. I even use them. I want their input, their advice.
Input from every angle. You know what I mean?
Without them, they're the ones who help build. Because like when my business had flooded, I paid all them still. I didn't leave them. I said, look, don't worry. I'll pay every one of you. I need you when I come back, because they're the people who will be building my business. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what though? That's it, Gary. Where you care about your staff, and you know what I mean. It's treat them well and whatever and stuff like that.
Have to.
You've got, of course you do, but it gets to a point where you could have, some people probably would have went to the art at the scrapyard, you know what I mean, and not, but you're a good fella, and a quote that you use: being yourself, don't be somebody you're not.
Yeah.
I come across one of your videos and I seen it and I thought, where did that come from?
I just think like, I've met a lot of people through my life, and one thing I've noticed is that you meet people and some people are different with you and then act different with other people.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean? And that's sometimes a red flag, I think, when people do that, because you should be yourself all the time. Like, it doesn't matter which company you're around, you should be always yourself. You got more respect by being yourself. People are either going to like you or hate you no matter what. You can't be everyone's cup of tea. People who are watching this podcast now thinking he's a dickhead, like about me even. But do you know what I mean? No, there will be, or even you. Like,
no.
That's what people are like.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
no, that's
because
what I mean.
because it's easy to judge somebody like that.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, I'm just being myself. Like, and if they don't like it, then I can live with that. But if I'm trying to act like somebody else and they're saying I'm a dickhead, and then I can understand why they might say that, because he's being false in.
Yeah, you can't be everyone's cup of tea. I get that, and listen, that's one of them where people are entitled to have opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what though, it's something that I've always said to my kids, that always be yourself. Don't try and be something that you're not. Be you.
Yeah.
And if people don't like that, that's fair enough.
That's your superpower.
But don't like put it on for this person and be different with that person. It doesn't wash with me, that. And it was just when I seen it, I thought, I'm gonna, I seen it on one of your clips and stuff, and I thought, I totally agree with you on, people are entitled to have opinions and stuff, but then
people do say stuff and they shouldn't, because they don't know what that person's actually going through. You hear a lot about, it's quite bad online, trolling for people.
Yeah.
Some people get it really bad, and it's crazy to think how people can just like talk shit and just, even just put in the comments, and you're like, it's not even relevant to what this person's even said. So, or if you haven't got don't say it. Like, why would just the old man with the boring lives, like saying shit? These people, I think
a lot of people do that, and that's the sad side of social media that we get.
Yeah, that you get, and they'll never stop though.
Of course,
never stop. Yeah,
it's
some people love it though. I know some people who they're like, I want the trolls to comment.
Yeah, because it's sort of the what's the name on the
algorithm
on their thing. It just blows up, and but some people that they get, I don't know what. It's a bit sad, like. But how much do you get out of seeing the up and coming kids and lads in your gym progressing the fight game?
Yeah, there's like I say, there's no better feeling. It's not even just even the fight. And obviously, if someone makes it and you can see them doing really well in the fight game, then it's awesome. Do you know what I mean? Because they're like living the dream, man. That's what they join for, to live that. But I always say you get so much more from martial arts. Like, from any sport I can think of, martial arts give you self-discipline, self-belief, respect, like honour. Like, and I don't think any other sport does it the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm into me boxing and stuff like that, where them type of things come into, but you disagree with like what you're saying with because that's what you've been around for many years.
I've done boxing as well.
Yeah,
so I've been around boxing gyms. Boxing gyms and martial arts gyms are very different, and the guys, and if anyone's listening and in the comments, they'll say the same. It's a different atmosphere in a boxing gym to a martial arts gym. I will say as well, on the other side though, me saying that, it depends on the coach, depends on
the way they run it and
stuff like that. So, but I mean, overall, they are quite different, boxing and martial arts, and I think it is to do with the more self-discipline what you have with martial arts, and the respect and stuff like that we instill in the students.
Yeah. Because
it comes from not just kickboxing. This comes from like the old traditional martial arts, like the kung fu, the karates, and even though you're doing Muay Thai and kickboxing, it still stems all back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's what I love about it, to be honest.
You love the variety of it.
Yeah, I love it. I love boxing, by the way. I do love boxing.
Yeah, we've just been speaking about the boxing before, but is there anyone we need to look out for? Anyone?
My son's a good one to look out for. He's 18. He's fighting his first semi-pro fight for the English title in 20th of September. So,
What's that feeling like for you?
oh, it's good because he's done it. My son's been born into it since he was like 4. So he's done it like
He's been around the gym, he's seen
yeah,
it
like
all.
well, both of my kids have, if I'm honest, because like my wife's a nurse practitioner, so like most of the time when I was younger, the kids were more with me because at that time my wife used to work nights and
12-hour
crazy
shifts. And,
shifts. So
yeah.
the kids would literally have to be in the gym with me, so I'd have to make them like, even when they were young, I'd make them like their own little room, like a little cinema room, like where they'd have to be. Because obviously I had to work, so they'd have to come down, and I used to make them like train. Obviously, my son Kai, he loves it. You know what I mean? So.
You know, obviously going into that big fight on the 20th of September, you know, are you nervous for him or?
Yeah, you obviously you're more,
Because of your son,
yeah,
yeah.
you're more nervous him fighting than yourself, but you are your other guys like them fighting. Like, I've got some really good guys coming through. We've got like Leon, David, Shahar. He's really good. Shahar, he's like a Kurdish kid.
You're looking at them to go and do big things and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And then my coach, actually, one of my coaches who works for me, Kay, he's heavyweight world champion, and he's actually fighting on the show that Kai's fighting on.
Yeah.
So that'd be good. It'd be good to get Kay back out.
Gary, you're a man of many talents, entrepreneur, author, fighter, coach. The list is endless. How do you maintain it all?
I've just got that mindset, if I'm honest, where I just want to be 1% better every day, and I don't believe anything is impossible in life. Like, I really don't. I think we can all be anything we want to be. I believe in the power of our dreams. I believe you can chase your dreams. And I think if anyone's got a bad past, like, don't use that as a negative. Use it as a positive. Use that as fuel. So my past, what I do, that fire, that burning behind me, that's fueling me to get where I need to be in my life. Because that fire will never stop burning, and neither will my heart stop pumping. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. And I do understand that it's very different for other people who mindset might not be like mine, to be able to overcome like the adversity and the trauma and stuff like that. But me personally, I believe, and it took me a long time actually to get like this, because when I went through all that shit years and years and years ago, it took me a very long time to train my mind how it would be, because my book's called Unmask actually.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next.
Because I always used to feel like I put a mask on in front of people, so I'd be smiling, but really I'd be sad.
Inside you.
Yeah, I'd be sad. And that's the thing. I just think you need to like just believe in yourself, and nothing in life is impossible. Like I really, really believe nothing's impossible in life.
But you know what you just said there, Gary, about what you've been through and stuff. You know, if I'm going to be honest, your story's a horrific one, because no one should ever have to, you know, being kids and enduring all that and stuff, and it's pretty nasty stuff went on. But to see where you are in life now, and I think we spoke before, you know, about our lives are pretty, you know, similar and stuff, where certain things have gone on, and we just want what's best for our kids. Do you know what I mean? When you become a parent, you want to, you know, that's becoming a parent is one of them things where you love them, you'll do anything for them, you try and give them the best as you can, you know, provide them with the best, you know, giving them that start in life where, you know, your story was a tough one, and to see everything that you're doing now, you're always looking out for other people, you're training people, you know, even in circumstances where some people just go, you know what, but it's good to see where you're at, and even writing your book, you know, what's your book called? You know?
It's called Unmasked.
Unmasked
the book, like I say, it's because of that. But even my book, it is about my life, but it's about mindset, because I believe, me personally, when I went through all that shit and how I rebuilt my mind, because I've rebuilt my mind over the years by listening to people, and I think your mind is the only thing we can literally control. Like, think about it now. You can't control walking over the road and someone going to hit you by a car or a bus. We can't control when we're going to be ill. We can't control anything, but what you can control how you feel. You can control when you get up in the morning, even if you feel shit. You can tell yourself, no, yeah, I feel shit, but I'm still going to get this done.
Get out of bed.
You get out of bed.
Yeah.
Most people aren't willing to think like that. Yeah, like little daily habits. Like, I always big on this. Get up, make your bed. If you don't make your bed, the rest of your day is chaos. Brush your teeth, right? If you can't do these little tasks, right, how do you expect to do anything with your day? Yeah, if you can't, do you know when people say I'm depressed or anything? One of my friends, when he was going through a really bad time, I said, look, he was going through a divorce, and I said, look, get up, make your bed. Yeah, what's to make my bed for? I said, get up, brush your teeth, get up, go in the shower. He said, I've got nowhere to go. I said, it doesn't matter. I said, do that every day. And I said, within a few weeks, you'll feel better.
You're in a routine. It's like a routine.
And he did. He felt better. Like, I'm not saying he was 100%. And yeah, there's other. And this isn't the cure to mental health or anything, but it definitely helps because you need to take that self-pride in yourself. You need to, like, not even sound corny or anything, but you need to love yourself. How can you love you if you don't love you for who you are and all your faults? How can you love anyone else?
Yeah,
it's impossible. You can't. You have to love yourself and you have to learn to like yourself. So I always say, believe in the power of your dreams, keep pushing forward, nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
And just go after anything you want. Doesn't matter what age you are, age is just a fucking number, man.
Yeah.
Age is just a number. Mate, I'm 44-year-old. I've struggled, like, Peter might look at me because I might drive like a decent car and wear all right clothes. So people look at him and think he's from a good background, he's had a nice family. They don't know the half of it, but I've only just literally bought my own house. I'm fucking 44-year-old.
But you know what though, Gary? You've worked so
that's what I mean.
So fucking hard.
People don't see that, but that's what I mean. I've worked all these years. Mate, even when I had my gyms years ago, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, never had no money. Mate, I was either paying my gym rent or my house. Yeah, sometimes I never had enough money for none. I didn't have any money for wages for myself. Didn't even have any money to pay the electric, even in my house sometimes. So
this is what people don't see. People don't see this. They just see all what's name and they don't know what goes on in the background.
Business is hard.
Oh, fucking tough,
business,
mate.
You got a business. Business is hard.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all this shit now, right? I wouldn't have anything that's happened to me in my entire life. Everything. I'm glad it happened. Everything. Right? It's made me the man I am today. I wouldn't be the man I am right now without everything that's happened. All my failures, all my business is failing. Right? Bring it, because I'll come back stronger. And that's the mindset you need. You need to be the strongest version of yourself. Doesn't matter what happens, you need to be. Remember, your kids are watching you, so they need to know.
Setting an example.
You're setting an example, yeah. Set the standard.
And
set the standard. And not just them are watching you.
You know, it's other people, the friends and stuff like that, and go, oh, you work hard and you show, what values, morals are and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, but. What's your book? Where can people buy your book?
My book's actually not. It's done.
Yeah.
I just haven't actually. It was supposed to be going to be out, but then obviously my gym flooded, didn't it?
Yeah,
so that's why it delayed it, and then it's delayed it a bit more now because I've been working on other stuff. I've got a little business I set up with my son called Fight Kings, like a fight brand selling like gloves, shins, and stuff like that. And then I have a game as well called Jab Cross Hook. It's like a combat card fight game. Actually, when my business got closed in COVID, I actually invented a card game and got it made. It's on Amazon Prime actually for sale.
Is it? Yeah. What's it called? Sorry.
Jab Cross Hook.
Jab Cross Hook.
I don't even know anything about card games. Don't play. But do you know when everyone was at home and they were playing games?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what can I do? And I did Vision one night and I woke up in the middle of the night.
This was in COVID, was it?
Yeah, in COVID. And I woke up and I'd wrote it in my phone, the note. I woke up the next day, I'd done it on paper. And I just ripped this paper and I started playing it with my daughter, this game that I had dreamt of in my dream. And she was like, oh, it's good, and we changed some things. And then I got in touch with a supplier from China. I spent all my savings on COVID because I didn't have no money. So anyway, I did buy this game, but it took, honestly, mate, it took months to come. This game, so it got shipped. I didn't get it air shipped because I couldn't afford the air shipping, which would have been faster. So it took ages to come. But yeah, it's still for sale. It's gone in a couple of shops as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Looking back at your life, the good, the bad and the ugly, mate.
I think with bad comes good, with good comes bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
nothing is. I just say again, nothing's out of hand's reach. Yeah. You have a choice. We all have a choice whether we want to cry and moan about things or we can just get up and do it. Even if you've got nothing to cry and moan about, you've still got a choice if you want to better yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life's sometimes very good, man. Life's sometimes very good. Yeah. But if you don't set goals and you don't challenge yourself, you'll only end up in the same place. I know lots of people, I do some business talks now actually, like events like platform. I'm actually doing another one in October in Newcastle if anyone would like to come. But people aren't willing to actually even try to get out of that first gear because it's too safe. But my advice to them is just go for it, man. Like, don't be scared of what people think of you failing.
Just making that change and having a go at something, you know what I mean? Something different.
Go for that better job, Go for that better car. Try for that better house. Decorate that room in the house you want to do. Save for that holiday. It doesn't matter. Don't compare with what other people have got.
You just get in your lane and just do it.
Yeah, compare on you. You're more happy when you compare on you. I never compare myself to anyone.
No one's, and I always say this, you know, just stay in your lane. You know, whatever goals you've got in life, whether, like you just said there, whether it's painting a room or maybe going for another job or whatever, just always try and, you know, be better than the person you was yesterday, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's family life like today?
Awesome. Got the best wife in the world. 2 kids, mint, daughter 13, son 18. So I couldn't be proud. My son works for me, actually.
Yeah.
So, like I say, my son works for me. I still set them boundaries for him. He could easily try and overstep people within the business. I keep him in his lane. I make him still clean the toilets, sweep the floors, do the mats. Like, don't pay him no more than the other guys. He's still
learning the right way. He's learning the right way.
Yeah. I'm teaching him to be a good man. He needs to have good morals. Yeah.
It's not just given to him.
No, you can't just give him.
Listen, there's too many people with the silver spoon, and I think listen, you've got to graft. You've got to get stuck in, and I think it's a good skill to have. Where you probably go, fucking hell, I'm gonna do this.
They've seen me struggle, though.
Yeah,
they've seen me.
Seen you on your bad days, you know what I mean, your ugly days and stuff like that. But
that's the thing. We all have, like you say, the good, the bad. We all have bad days, man.
Yeah.
It's how you get up the next day to face them,
and how you get on with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's in the pipeline for Garry Bell?
Just constant growth of businesses.
Just keep going.
Ideas. I just want to achieve the most I can in my life. So when I'm on my deathbed, that I don't live with the regret thinking, I wish I tried this, I wish I tried that. Because there's so much I want to do.
Yeah.
There's so much I want to do. Like I want to have more holidays. I want to treat my family better. Like all this is for them. Like all what I do.
And it doesn't come from doing nothing.
And it doesn't come from doing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm never shy to get stuck in and do it. But at the same time, I know that to build a business, you need a good team. So you need to pay people. You need to have staff who think
the same as you, then
similar to you.
Got the same goals.
Same goals, yeah. And they need their goals. And everyone know people that work for me. I tell them all the time, like, if you want a business, you want to do this, you want to go and get a better job, I'll help you. You want to do something different with your life, I will give you advice. Come and see me, I'll help you. Don't just think you're loyal to me. Like, you go out and you do the things you want to do in life. Like, you can't live with them regrets, like thinking, oh, I stayed in that job too long. Like, you're here for this time, and this time might only be till now. You've learned what you've needed to take from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not a selfish thing to think that.
It's good that you put it like that, because like you say, you know, it's hard to get good staff at times, you know what I mean?
It's very hard, yeah.
It's, you know, and you want staff to work as, I always say this, sometimes people won't as work as hard as yourself. When you've got your own business, because you're 100% you're all in, you want the business to work as best as you can, no faults, no nothing. But if you've got a team of staff who are on the same page, turning in, you know, delivering, you know, getting things done, fucking business works well.
Yeah, it works
well. But when it doesn't, and that's the ugly side of it, where it's just like, you know, you think to yourself, you know, but listen, Garry, you know, that has been such an explosive episode, and, you know, it's certainly had good, bad and ugly in it. And I just want to say thanks very much for sharing the good, the bad and ugly. Thanks very much.
Thank you.